Welcome, everybody. How are you?
What's up,
What's going
Dirk?
on, Alex?
What's happening? I'm just, enjoying. We're here on a Saturday. That's different for us. So, you know,
We are here on a Saturday, which should be cool. Hopefully, I don't know. Maybe we get more people. Maybe we don't get more people. It doesn't really matter. We're going to have the people that we have, which is fine with me. But we made this mistake was it last year or the year before? I think it was last year.
probably both.
It was made, well, yeah, it was our very first guest, Jim Skelton.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we scheduled it during the Super Bowl, and you had a problem with your dog that day. So it was just a mess. So
Yeah.
when we started to schedule this one, we realized, hey, that's Super Bowl Sunday. We better change it to Saturday, which worked out for me, worked out for you, and it worked out for our very special guest. Doesn't need a lot of introduction, but one of my favorite makers, Todd Fischer Sr. So let's just bring him in and get this ball rolling. Todd, how are you, sir?
Hey guys, hey Dick, hey Alex. I'm great.
It's
Awesome.
Warm
it's
and comfortable here in West Central Florida on the edge of a 45,000 acre forest. Life is good.
Your house is coming together. I've been watching you guys on Facebook and Instagram, building your house, moving, the whole stuff. A lot of drama moving. I recently moved in July, I know. But man, property is looking great.
Yeah, it's getting there. Moving the shop was like that was
Oh,
crazy. I had I must have eight machines that are like 3,000-4,000 pounds or more, and it was fun to say the least. But
so
and
everything is moved. The shop is fully set up and ready, or are you still kind of playing with it?
It's fully operational, and it's quite frankly, it's a knife maker's dream. It's because I've like 20 something years of figuring out the perfect
Right.
workshop, and so I built it, and it's fabulous. It's operational. I still need to run like some power and air here and there,
Mhm.
but yeah, I'm building knives and forging. So yeah, and the house is uh, it's a log home. It's a not that big, but about 2,100 square feet, a 2-story log home, and
Okay.
so not a traditional house build. And the contractor that I hired to stack the logs and dry it in took his sweet time. And then we hit this inflation thing.
Right.
Yeah, so it's cost me
Whoa.
300% more than it was supposed to. But so I end up doing a lot of the work myself. In fact, most of it, and I'm
Mhm.
still doing it. But it's coming along, and it's really beautiful. The inside is like mostly tongue and groove Southern pine, and it's just it's very serene in there. Is the vibe very serene?
Have
Yeah.
you always, are you originally from that state?
No. I'm originally from Wisconsin. Uh, a village in Wisconsin, a small village, Menomonee Falls, and we left there when I was 16 and moved to Miami, the
Okay.
whole hellhole Miami, and I left Miami in '95 with my late wife, and we moved to Central Florida, and we bought some acreage, and we had our horses. And our dream was to always have our horses on our property, and we accomplished that. And we had a nice place there. And she passed away in 2017, and I met another girl, sometime later, and we just kind of wanted to get a fresh start. And I owned this property up here in Inverness already
Okay.
in the forest, and we decided to build a house. It was just bad timing, selling my old house down there before the real estate bubble, and then starting this house during inflationary times. But I'll get it done. So yeah, I lived in Wisconsin until I was 16. And probably that's where you didn't ask, but that's probably where my love of working with steel came from. We had it was like kind of a agricultural area. And one of
Okay.
the things that they taught in the school was blacksmithing. And it was something that I was good at right off the bat. So I kind of stuck with it on and off when I could. And then I was an engineer telecommunications engineer,
Okay.
and I had horses, and but I was doing a job over in the Bahamas, and it was hard. It was just it was so stressful. And
Mm.
I was walking from the hotel to the job site one day, and I was like, "I'm screw this, I'm quitting." And I quit my job, and I went out to Oklahoma and went to horseshoeing school, and
Okay.
yeah, and
That's
it was
cool.
just
Farrier is quite the skill to be a farrier too. You know.
yeah, it is. And because of my background, this precision that I had ingrained into me, I was very good at it. I was very successful.
Mhm.
Um, and but it gave me a chance to work with the forging again,
Right.
and so I was really good at it. I mean, I was turning out some really good like test shoes at the school. You had to make test shoes to pass, and get your certifications and everything. So I always enjoyed that, and it was at that point that I started forging the occasional knife and sword blade, and it turned. I was pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Uh, and I so and that was, gosh, when the heck was that? Late '80s, early '90s, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, anyway, I was good at it, and when did I get? I guess I got interested. It must have been around the late '90s that I decided I wanted to build knives. And I met somebody at a knife. Actually, it was a gun show. I met a guy at a gun show,
Yeah.
and he was a knife maker, and he lived close by. So he
Perfect.
got me started. Yeah, he got me started, and then from there, I went to a show. I met guys like Reese Wyland and Stan Wilson, my buddy, my brother Stan Wilson.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest influence on me by far, for sure, Stan Wilson. Just like I said, he's a brother. He was with me when my wife passed away. So he's like, that friendship will never go away. But and Stan lost his lease over in Pinellas County, and I had a rental house that I owned next door to my place down there. And I said, Stan, move into my rental house, and then at some point, maybe you could just buy it, So he was literally next door to me for like 10 or 12 years.
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, I mean, it was just a dream come true, and we just would come work in each other's shops as necessary. And
Yep.
if I had a problem, I could walk over to Stan's house anytime, and he'd stop whatever he was doing and help me out. And the same, on the rare occasion he needed some help. So Stan and I have known each other for over 20 years. So.
Yeah, I've never met Stan, but I've admired his work for a long time. And talking with you, talking with Jim Skelton, both have nothing but amazing things to say about Stan. So
yeah.
At some point, maybe a flipper is in my future. That would be one knife that I would like to get at some point in the future. But just the mechanics is amazing.
If you pinned me down and asked me who I thought was the best knife maker in the world, I'd have to say Stan.
I would probably agree with you. He's one of the best, and he's always been same thing here. Like since early on that I started collecting and like admiring custom knives, that was one of the makers that I always aspired to collect one of his knives. And I've even over the years I've done try to email, reach out, because I've always wanted a non-flipper myself. But it's just the elusive knife that I just can't seem to get my hands on. And at this point, they're getting really expensive too. So
yeah. Well,
the whole market is crazy right now.
Yeah, Stan's not easy. He's worse hermit than I am. Even he's not easy to get a hold of. But if you can get a hold of him, and he's a really unique guy. I mean, he's the nicest guy. He's just a sweet guy.
That's what Jim always said. Yeah.
I mean, I love the guy. Absolutely. He's a brother to me, and he's 2 hours south of me now, and I miss him every day, but we still talk occasionally. When I go down there, I stop in and see him. And, he did help me build. He came up a couple times and worked on the shop building with me.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
yeah.
So
Um,
what started? I'm assuming you started with fixed blades.
most people start with fixed blades, and I was just very fortunate, and I was able to build a pretty good after the first one, which started out like probably Bowie knife size. It ended up being a paring knife.
Mhm.
That was my first attempt, but I rapidly improved. And quite honestly, the second month I sold the knife, they were good enough to sell, and they were fixed blades with bolsters and probably stag or some kind of nice hardwood,
Yeah.
and all polished, mirror polished. That's what everybody did back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I sold, and I made a knife, and I mean, I had a full-time job. There was not a 9 to 5 job. It was about 10 hour a day job or more. And I come home and work on knives, and I sold 4 or 5 knives a month, and I did really well at it. And then I do shows, and I take something for everybody, and I always did okay at shows. And I took all that money, and again, I had a regular job,
Right.
so I made a good salary. But I took all the money from my knives, and I just kept, saving it up. And then I'd be like, okay, so what do I want next? And I'd buy my next piece of equipment with knife money.
Yep.
Yeah, and that went on for years like that. And I have, and then so Neil Blackwood, I don't know if any of you guys know Neil or remember him.
Yes.
Yeah,
I know exactly who he is.
Yeah, he fell on some hard times, but he was a friend of mine, and he lived not too far away, and one hell of a knife maker. But the guy got entangled, and I'm not going to go into detail, but I stuck by him through the whole thing. And so he was a CNC machinist, and he's the guy that got me interested in the CNC machining. And I guess, and so I think it was 2006 or 7. I bought a CNC mill.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd work all day. I'd come home. I'd make knives for a few hours, and then like an hour before bed, I'd get on the computer, and I'd take a class on CNC machining, on Mastercam, the software.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so this went on for a while, and then I found the mill, not too far away, and then that kicked off the CNC machining aspect of it. But as you may or may not know, I do machine out the major parts, but 90% of the work is hand fitting and tuning and grinding. I do grind everything.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, but I'd like to.
And you're making your own forged blades.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I forged Damascus too. I still do that.
And some of that is just wild looking. Some of my favorite ones are ones that you've made the steels for. Love how those come out.
Yeah, I have a lot of people ask for that, and the Sanmai is probably my favorite. I make a pretty nice looking Sanmai.
Yep.
And in fact, I have a Sanmai billet in progress right now. I started it about a week ago. Ran out of steel. So I'll be finishing that one up pretty soon, and hopefully maybe turn out a spec knife with Sanmai on it.
Okay.
See where that goes. Yeah, I don't build too many spec knives, but so I'm building one right now. Robert Carter, of course.
Yep.
He's a friend.
We just had him on last time.
Yeah, he's a friend of the family, and he got hold of me. He goes, "Would you finish? I want to hand off this collaboration to," and I guess he and Frank started, and so I took that, and it's a knife I'd never built before. All I had was the basic geometry, and he sent me a piece of meteorite and some mammoth ivory, and I'm like, crap.
Nice.
If I make a mistake, it's going to be bad. So,
right.
So I built a prototype. I made fixtures, and I made a couple of pretty bad mistakes on the prototype. So I'm glad I did it. Yeah. But the prototype, I fixed those things and just made new parts, and it'll be a spec knife pretty soon. It's a Warhawk. is the name of the knife. It's
Okay.
the battle blade and the handle, I think, off of a Fury or something like that. Pretty cool knife. So that'll be coming up pretty soon. I'll be finishing up both of those in the next week or two. So that's a sort of a spec knife, but it was an effort to not destroy a piece of mammoth ivory and meteorite,
For sure. I think one of our viewers here, Aussie Mike, he goes by Metal Inquisitor. He's down in Australia. I think he's been talking to Robert Carter about a Warhawk here in the future.
Okay. Is that directed at me?
And then we've got a comment here from Blessed Knives. Hold on here. There we go. Todd Fischer, your level of work is what most of us aspire to achieve. Thanks for being an inspiration to us.
Oh, well, thank you. I still consider myself I appreciate that. I consider myself still to be a little guy. I mean, sometimes people will call me, a master or what, a legend, and I'm like, I can't take myself that seriously. Because I still screw things up, and I just don't let people know about it. But so, fun fact: there's probably 150 or 200 ruined knife blades under the slab in my old shop building, and nobody's going to ever see. Okay, in there
that's part of.
You can't make an omelet without cracking some eggs. It's just.
Yeah, and I think everybody watching can attest to whatever their field of work is. We've all made mistakes at work, whatever it is that we're doing. And it's just, how do you recover from that? How do you learn from that? How do you toss that material away and just start a new knife? Or if you're building a part for a car, it's all kind of the same. And we all screwed up.
You just got to, you got to forgive.
Some of the most beautiful art pieces in history started out as a vision of something else, and then ended up becoming, whatever it became by accident.
Yeah.
Like, it's just kind of like the process of creating something. It doesn't, even if you created something and maybe it wasn't exactly what you had in mind at the very first second, it develops as you go and turns into whatever you turn it into. So for me, like, there's no mistakes. I mean, unless it's unrecoverable, there's no mistakes. It's just, like a little modification, and then boom, it's a different knife now, whatever it may be.
Right. Well, and that happens, and not frequently, but it happens. And something will go wrong with a piece of natural material or something, and you're forced to go in another direction, and it turns out better. And I'm not going to say his name, but it's it's happened to this one guy that I build knives for, like 2 or 3. It's like there's a curse on us, but it happens. But then the result is the knife ended up being, even better than it would have been if we'd gone with Plan A. So happy accidents,
for sure. Our friend Luck Knives over in Utah, he goes, for every knife he posts, he's a newer knife maker making fixed blades. For every knife that he posts on Instagram, there's 2 or 3 blanks that he's thrown across the garage.
Okay. I've never actually thrown anything across the shop because it could bounce off of a wall or something and hit me. So I don't throw stuff. I've wanted to.
I've thrown a wrench or 2 working on my car. I can't lie. I have thrown a few things working on the car.
Well, I have a lot of restraint, but I mean, it happens. But the thing is, you got to just forgive yourself, and like you. I mean, it's never too late to ruin a knife. Even at the end of the process, you could ruin it after putting in 60, 70, 100 hours of work, and that's not fun. So for the guys that are like, like the guy that just posted, I'll give you some advice. Slow down. Just do everything slower, and slow your grinder down, and make smaller mistakes. They're easier to recover from. You're going to make mistakes. The grind may not turn out the way you wanted it, but if you're going slow, it's going to be a smaller mistake, and you can probably still save the blade instead of throwing it across the shop. So
Yeah, because you can't always you can remove material really fast, but it's hard to put it back, right?
you can't put it back. You just end up with a different grind or a whole different blade. But yeah,
and that comment of just slow down really kind of applies to life. If you really think about it, like, you know, if you're gonna have a discussion with your wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, and you're upset, slow down a little bit. Talk about it a little bit later. If you're going to send that email at work because you hate that guy and you bang it out, don't hit send. Wait a second before you hit send. Slow down. Reread your email and then tweak it and hit send.
I did that. So, so many times. I mean, I was in corporate America. I was, middle management. I ran an engineering department and a team of transmission techs.
Yep.
And it was the political infighting and all that bullshit. And so many times I'd write this heated email, and I'd go, I better wait.
Yep.
And I go back and read it again, and I'd be like, man, I was really angry. What the heck?
I do that oftentimes myself. There's probably a few that I should have waited, but I didn't. So, you live and learn, right? Again, we make mistakes and we learn from them and move on.
Yeah, so I went full time. I forget even what year I went full time. Maybe 2012 or something, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing part time, so I went full time. I had a chance to get a package out. It was a nice package, like a year's salary and some other perks, and I was all over it. And then I went home that day and went to work in my shop, and that was like I've been full time ever since.
And never looked back.
Oh no, so much happier and made more money. And I mean, I made good money. I was a six-figure guy, but
right,
I was working, just making somebody else rich. The board of directors was getting rich, and
well, exactly. And now you could work your own hours, and you're still working a lot of hours, but it's more on your time at your shop for yourself. Not
they always say
some company.
They always say if you love doing something, then you're not working, right?
Right. Well, the other thing is, I mean, the reward to effort is a direct relationship. I mean, it's a linear relationship. The harder you work at it, the bigger the rewards are going to be. So, and that's the great, and especially if you're a one-man show, it applies, even more. So, which most of us are.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, and what's interesting about you now you got several kids, boys and girls, but your two sons ended up getting into knives and
being successful.
Very successful knife makers in their own right, which is got to make you pretty proud and whatnot of your kids following in your footsteps, so to speak. But how did that come across with, TJ and Frank? At what ages did they start getting into it? Did they help you in the shop, like sweeping up and cleaning up, and they just kind of evolved into it? Or how did that play out with both of the kids?
TJ didn't really work in my shop. He really worked with Frank, but Frank worked in my shop for many years.
Okay.
And then, actually, I wanted him to get out of there, because it's hard having somebody else using your tools and leaving them, But it was fine. I mean, we started off immediately making folders. He went right into folders.
Oh, okay.
And, so both of my sons are very intelligent. Both of them are IQ scores in the mid 150s, within a point of each other. And it's not surprising. I mean, they could do whatever they wanted to do. They have the intelligence. Plus, they can, they're both good with their hands. So, and Frank he'd make something, and I go, okay, go show it to Stan, because Stan was next door.
That's right. Yeah.
And then Stan would QC it, and he'd come back, got to fix this. So he really had the benefit of, having
Master
Stan.
training.
Yeah, I mean, it was, yeah. So it instilled in him, and I think TJ is naturally a perfectionist.
Mm-hmm.
And his work is as clean as anybody's. I don't think there's anybody in the world that's makes a knife that's cleaner than his. And by clean, I'm talking about really crisp and good fit. And that's an old knife maker term. If I say clean about somebody's knife, that's the highest compliment I can give somebody, that it's clean.
Yeah, I agree with it, and I agree with you. Like his work it's clean, and I know exactly what you mean by that. Everything looks like it's hard to tell that a machine didn't make it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very crisp, very symmetrical.
Fitted up.
Yes. Yeah. And Frank's was the same way. I mean, they're both, just as I said, they're both genius level, beyond genius, and could have done anything. And Frank was just kind of looking. He was kind of drifting around and didn't really have anything going. I was like, get a regular job and do this part time. But he didn't want to do that. He wanted to dive right into it. So, I helped him out.
I am personally glad that he did, because I fell in love with the battle model, and I had turned out to be quite the obsession now. But I love it. And, I love the prototype battle that you made. I have that here. And I've got the Archangel. This was the very first Fischer knife I ever had, was an Archangel that I bought from my buddy Tristan down in Southern California. And I didn't know much about you guys at this time, a couple, 3 years ago. And here I am now, freaking, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 battles deep, and Cobra from TJ, and the prototype battle from you. It's been a problem.
When you first got that Archangel, I remember that. I was like,
right?
You got an Archangel? He's like, yeah. I'm like, dude.
And I don't even think I really knew what I was buying at the time.
So, so here's a good story about the Archangel. I have the original template around here. Something, it was a huge knife. The first one or two I made were like this big. They were huge.
Oh wow.
And the name. So I made this template, acrylic template, blade and handle, and I wrote "Rage" on it! Exclamation point. That was my name for it. And so I'm looking at it. This is a long time ago. Okay. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm thinking. I don't like this. This is too wild for me. Right. And I folded up and I threw it in a drawer in my big toolbox.
Yeah.
So the day I retired or got my package out and went full time, I came home, and I don't know what led me to that drawer. I guess the Lord did. And he said, go look in that drawer. And I pulled out that acrylic template, and I was like, God, this is a great looking knife. Why didn't I build this? Right. And this was after like 5, 6 years have gone by.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right. So that was, I guess my perception of, what I liked had changed over that amount of time, but it was just ahead of its time, apparently, or ahead of me. And, so that's been a real successful design for me. And I think it's one of the most beautiful knives in the world, personally.
I agree. That is my favorite model of knife that you make. I was on the list a while back, but 2 years later when you contacted me, life changed, so I couldn't get one at the time. But
I get it. But if you want one, just hit me up and we'll work something out. But I understand that. I understand life changing. Yeah, definitely. Anyway, so I was trying to think of a name for it, and I couldn't. And I don't know, for some reason, to me, it looked like an angel's wing. So I said Archangel. So by the way, I don't know if you can see.
I love it.
That's Saint Michael, the Archangel, on my forearm.
Yeah, it does have some sweeping lines. It's just a beautiful knife. And this is the full-size one. There is a mini one that my buddy Anthony has, who's probably still watching. Yeah, it's just a great knife. I love it.
Yeah, I have an affinity with Saint Michael and the archangels and that whole story.
Oh, do
So
you?
for
Okay.
me, yeah, so for me, even the name of it, like my mother's a huge artist, sketches live sketch kind of stuff, and she drew me out actually like a big uh like what her interpretation of what she would think like the archangel Michael would look like, and it was just this beautiful thing that I just asked her to draw it for me. So for me, that knife, the name like also resonated for me because it's just something I've always been kind of interested in. I always felt like the idea of an archangel protecting you at all times and looking over your shoulder is
Hmm.
a beautiful concept. And
So hang on,
so,
hang on a second. You're
all
good.
right,
Yeah, please.
I think
So
we're
yeah,
gonna see some
I know.
cool.
I know Tony loves his Archangel, and he's trying to buy another one. And I've seen a picture of the one he's getting ready to buy, and I love it.
Can you see this, Alex?
Let's see.
Oh
If we can
yeah,
make this bigger here. Hold on one second. There we go.
that's beautiful.
That's my archangel.
That's great.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I need to finish this knife, but I had it. My buddy Reese Wyland has a laser in etcher thing, and
Okay, cool.
I know who Reese is.
And Reese
Reese.
makes some great stuff too. It's big,
Yeah.
overbuilt, crazy. I've had some, I've owned some, and then I've been able to film some other ones that people have sent in. Another mastermind in the knife game.
His
Very-
knives are
yeah.
fun.
Yeah,
His
very-
knives
His knives
super
are fun.
yes, they are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
huge-
great way to put it.
Huge autos, lots of
Yep.
big scary knives. Yeah,
and thick, like blade stock, like
Yep.
with this crazy swedge. I mean,
Yeah,
they cut stuff. They do cut stuff, but they're pretty wild.
he's another guy that I have gone to. Sometimes if I had Reese is always more than happy to help me out. If I was like when I was building autos, he was a big help to me.
Mhm.
When I started building autos, and I don't build too many of them now because they're hard to make money on for me. But
Okay.
I'm dying to make one. I have a mechanism that I designed that I'm not going to reveal the details of it, but it's a clip release auto,
Okay.
and most clip release autos that have been attempted fail because of the torque applied to the sear by the mainspring. But I devised a mechanism that defeats all of that torque, and I have a bunch of clip release autos out there in the world. One that has a 7-inch blade. Well, actually, 3 of them. It's a big 7-inch blade. And
I'm trying not to buy knives in 2024, but now you're making life harder for me.
what if I made a battle that was an auto, clip release auto?
Okay, I'm in. Damn it, Jim. What the hell?
They're fun. I mean, it can be very nerve-wracking to build one, but once they're done, it's a lot of fun. My friend Dudley Dawkins posted a video, I think, on that continent. What's that? Ancient City Continental.
Oh yeah, the Ancient City Confidential Facebook group.
Yeah.
Group.
He posted the one of the giant autos that I was talking about, the 7-inch clip release. It's got alien skulls on it and stuff.
Oh, I think I did see that. I'll have to go look
Yeah.
again. That's crazy.
It was fun. Clip release. Yeah.
I don't know if I want a 7-inch one, but like a 3 3/4, 4-inch battle auto. Wow, that's intriguing.
Yeah. There may be one of those coming up. We'll see.
Oh boy.
That would be fun.
That would be fun. That would be interesting. I'm not a huge auto person, but I'm a huge Fischer fan. I'm obviously a huge battle fan, and I do have the prototype battle here that you did.
Right.
But it doesn't matter now. You don't have the auto. You got to.
I don't have the auto now, so now like my collection is just kind of just kind of like
it's good. It's a good collection.
It's a good collection, but
It's
could be
incomplete.
infinitely better. Damn, you guys, this is a crazy hobby that we are in.
I'm the one that harassed them about getting that prototype.
Yeah, Alex kind of helped
Well, I'm
push
glad.
me into bidding for that. Alex was instrumental in the first battle that I ever bought.
I was like, dude, you have all these battles from junior. Can you imagine one from senior? It's a
Yeah, I just had to
prototype.
get it.
Really?
It's been great. It's
It's a good home for it.
been fantastic. Yeah, I'm very, very.
You're the guy. So,
Yeah. So yeah. All right. So what? Well, let me
You need
scroll
an
through some
automatic.
comments here real quick and see if we missed anybody's stuff. I think we got a lot of the comments in. A lot of people were talking amongst themselves, which is great. What have you got that you're currently working on? Aussie Mike was asking about that. Tease us with some stuff you're currently working on.
We kind of went into some of that.
Well, the orders for a bunch of different kinds of ice, but the collaboration that Rob sent to me.
Mm-hmm.
The Warhawk.
Oh, and we lost him.
We lost him. But
He'll
I'm
be
sure
back. He'll realize that he got lost. It's a bad cell connection there. But Hinderer Collector, what's up, man?
Hey, should I just I guess we're live, so I'll just say whatever. So everybody, I've been hunting for the Ghostbusters Combat Troodon. But should I just take that money and then just tell Senior to start building me an Archangel?
Yes.
Is that?
But since you just get that out of the bag, he is looking for a Ghostbusters auto. If somebody has one, reach out because he's got a bunch of people trying to scam him, and he wants a legit person to sell him one, and he's willing to spend big money. So just hit him up. And let's get him one of those Ghostbuster autos.
Spend big money. Whoa, Dirk. Whoa. Calm down with the big money thing. I'm willing to. I want to buy one. Reach out.
All right. It looks like Todd is back.
We got Todd
yeah, it's
back.
probably I'm out here in the stick. Yeah. Well, no worries, I can't really find. Yeah, but it's essentially it's the Fury with the battle blade. It's a scaled down battle blade.
Yeah, so here cool. for those guys that may or may not know, here is a Fury. I happen to have almost all. I don't have all the models, but I've got a few models. Okay, here's a Fury, and here's the prototype battle. Let's just to give you kind of an idea. For those of you that may or may not know, I think a lot of people are familiar with what the Fischer family makes, but there you go. And yes, I do have a Cobra from TJ because I had to have something from all three of you guys because it's just a thing.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Like you guys are all amazing knife makers, but it's amazing. It's always fun to see like the signature of each and every maker, And between TJ and his launch models, probably my favorite of his, and then of course the battle, with Frank, and then the Archangel with Senior, who will be back in just a moment. They've all got their own like signature. Like it's not like you look at the knives. If you didn't know that they were related, like you probably wouldn't know that they're related by looking at their knives, which is cool. Like they have their own signature, which I really like.
There's some similarities. You can kind of tell there's a little bit of DNA, but they're also separate, which I think is great and I love.
Well, the way I see it is like you got, like for me, TJ is just like a very good, crisp, handmade, custom kind of guy, and Frank's like the machine, like he's got this like Terminator ability of making these really clean, like CNC hand finished customs, and then you got Senior, who is just the handmade custom master, which now he's dabbling in CNC too, right?
Yep.
So it's cool to see the differences and a little bit of the blending at the same time.
Agreed. Luck Knife says he might be selling his Poltergeist. That's Ghost Relic.
Oh yeah.
And Bangkok Mike says, "Did you see Zach in the Wild just shut down his channel today?" No, I didn't see that. I barely know who Zach in the Wild is. And I am probably, and I don't know about Alex, but I am probably one of the people that has no clue who Joe X is or what the drama
Joe
was
X.
or anything. So I don't even care. The only reason I know that Joe X exists is because in true YouTube fashion, everybody that barely knew he existed had to make a video to try to jump on the bandwagon and get views. I don't do that. I don't know who the guy is. I could care less.
I actually been following Joe X for a while because I found him entertaining. So
never heard of him before.
The whole premise, like I've probably been a subscriber of his probably for maybe like 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
And like his premise is he takes fixed blades and he tests them to the point of destruction. He just destroys blades. And like he wasn't like he's a fun channel to watch for entertainment, but that was his whole thing.
Why did he close his channel and tell the world to F off?
Well, apparently he got blackmailed by somebody, and there's something going on because he's in another country.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He sounds kind of either Polish, Ukrainian. He sounds like a Slav, but I don't know exactly where he's from.
Okay.
But apparently people have been coming to his house and like crazy stuff's been happening. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's not like somebody I talk to or anything. I just ran into his channel one day. I'm like, who's this guy taking like a cold steel and stabbing it through? I've actually sent you clips of his channel before.
I think so. Metal Aussie Mike says he's Austrian, maybe. I don't know if Aussie Mike knows that or if he's throwing that out there. I don't know.
Yeah. But that was
Professor EDC might have some real news here. He got bullied around by his townspeople. He's from Austria. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know who people are. I don't really care.
So,
I'm nobody. Zach was an honest EDC guy for practical use with 135,000 subscribers. Said it just stopped being worth the effort without him becoming a shill for the knife and EDC companies. Well, it's not worth the effort.
Well,
I'm going to tell you right now.
My question is, isn't Zach in the Wild the guy who kind of not replaced Ben? He used to do with Ben Peterson on Blade HQ videos. Isn't that Zach? Or am I thinking of somebody?
I don't know. I have seen Zach in the Wild a little bit, like at a gun show or a knife show or at a car show thing. He's walking around and checking random people. That's all I know of him.
Oh, see,
Professor EDC says yes, you are correct. So
it's that Zach, and what that guy's comment was about him, he just stopped, wasn't worth becoming like whatever the EDC companies. Well, he only became popular because he was a Blade HQ guy. Like he started YouTube with Blade HQ. So I'm not sure what that even means, but no sweat to me. I didn't follow that channel much.
I didn't follow him either, but so that's fine. But with 135,000 subscribers, it probably is worth it to do videos. With 8,000, like I have, it's not worth it. I mean, it's fun. I do it. I have a real job. I've talked about this many times on my channel, so we won't even go into it. I have a real job that pays the bills, that I sit right here and I talk on Zoom, like literally right here. But I have a real job. If I make money on YouTube, great. If I don't make any money on YouTube, whatever. YouTube costs me money every year. It is what it is. And it's fine. I do it for fun, much like Bearded Doom says. I do YouTube for fun. It will never be a business, and it's never worth it, quote unquote, if you are trying to put a dollar amount on your time instead of just having fun. I get it.
Yeah, I agree with Doom. For me, I've had my like progression through YouTube, and I'm not really like, I don't consider myself a true like YouTuber or anything. Same thing. I have like a 10-hour-a-day job and a family. I have my own circumstances of when and why I can't film every day all the time. So
don't do every day. I don't know why I got into that. I mean, I got into it kind of as I don't
If
know.
you
There's a
want
lot
to
of
grow,
reasons. I've talked about that on other videos.
I think that's actually the only way you can grow is doing it every day. But for me, like I tried to do, like I got up to like 2 or 3 a week sometimes, and then all of a sudden I lost all the fun in it. It was kind of like stressing me to think like, oh, like I can't relax like with my daughter tonight. If I want to make my deadline, I got to
Right.
film something. And then that lasted a very short time till I almost decided to quit altogether because I was stressing myself out. And then I got to the point I'm like, wait, I don't want to stress out and I don't want to quit. So I'm just going to film a video whenever I feel like it. If it's 2 months later, it's 2 months later. If it's once a month, it's once a month. So that's what I do, you know. And
Yeah,
I'm
I agree.
already like 2,200 subs. Like I have a tiny channel, and I've had a channel longer than you.
You
So
have for sure. Well, yes, but
well, and but I don't post much. That's
you
my
don't
problem.
post much, and you started over with a new channel and got rid of all your video. Like you started over. Excuse me.
Yeah,
So,
I did. But you know, regardless, it's I keep it as fun now. So
I agree.
if I
I
have a
did
reason,
I just got a message from Todd Senior. Yeah, he's having internet trouble and whatnot, so he's done, which is fine. But
Yeah.
everybody, don't leave. Don't just leave. Todd left. We got 15 more minutes.
Yeah.
Ish. Okay, come on, hang out with us for a little bit.
And
But
we
yeah,
will
so
wrap
he's
up.
not going to come back, just so everybody's clear. But
And we can swing back to the Fisher family a little bit. I was just trying to buy some time, but
we
talk
can.
with
If
Phil.
anybody has any questions, I don't know all the answers about the Fisher family, but I do know a lot about their knives. I've done a lot of videos. If you got questions, post them up.
And we may get Senior back at some point. Dirk,
We'll bring him back on another episode, especially if I'm gonna get sucked into buying another knife from him as an auto battle clip release. I'm not even sure how that functions, but now I'm intrigued by it. Damn it.
It's cool. I'll tell you that. It's cool. I know what he's talking about. It's super cool. You gotta have one.
Dirk needs an auto donut battle. No, I would not do a donut style battle. Like I am all into the donut theme. I don't have anything here at my desk, but I am all into the donut theme, but I would not do that with a battle.
I would do that. I did see that on the Medford though, and you know the Medford's such a piece of junk that I'm cool with that. You can make that knife look like a dessert.
Yes, I did a video on a fighter flipper that the Medford didn't do it themselves. The guy who bought it was a retailer, Gil from Wild About Sporting Goods. Shameless plug for him. Big supporter of my channel. He went out, had it Cerakoted, and sent it to me to film. And then somebody else did a Praetorian. So, yeah. So,
the Praetorian did look cool.
Aussie Mike brings up a good question. Because this is on a Saturday night here in the United States, it is a Sunday noontime in Melbourne, Australia. And so he's able to join, which is great because normally he tries to join during his lunch hour on Mondays because we're normally on Sundays. This was because of the Super Bowl. I don't think we're going to normally change it to Saturday because that doesn't work for Alex's schedule and my schedule all the time. Do you guys like Saturday better? Just out of curiosity, do you like Sunday? I'm not saying we're changing anything, but I'm just saying.
Saturday. Well, what's interesting, Dirk, is it's a Saturday, and we have as many live people today
as we normally do on a Sunday.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, so Mike says it is 12:48 p.m. in Australia right now. So, yeah, it's like 19 hours. Which I didn't realize that Australia had multiple time zones because I was trying to coordinate something with Chris Black Design, who is also in Australia, and he's actually 2 hours. He's in Perth, which I think is 2 hours less than Melbourne. So I was all confused.
Well, let's answer some questions too, man.
Bangkok Mark, sorry. Speaking of, do you guys ever watch Osen O'Malley on watches? I think it is called Ocean. I don't remember. I knew exactly how to pronounce his name at one point. I used to watch him a lot, but then he kind of got to drama and stuff, and so I don't really watch him now.
Yeah, I don't watch that watch channel. I do watch channels, but not that one.
What's
What
his
do we
question?
got here?
Sorry. Dirk and Alex,
Alex.
McNeese, Mac 2, 3.5, or a CRK Zon?
A Zon, if you ask me, but
I
that's a great
absolutely do
knife.
not like the Zon. So for me, I would go McNeese, but I don't love McNeese either. No offense about him. Like I just don't love his model. Those
Well,
knives.
the Mac is kind of like it's a very nice knife.
Yep.
It's very well priced too, by the way. And it's very well made. And you can count on McNeese for warranty because I've used them for one of mine before, and it was great. Some of the best actually service I got from a knife maker. But I still think the Zon is just you get more for the same money with a Zon. They're both about $450.
I would agree with that.
But it just depends. That's subjective, whatever you like. So to me, the Zon's a little less vanilla, if you will, and like a little more shiny and flashy, whereas the other one looks more like more heavy duty work tool. And for me, I like the shiny thing, so I would pick the Zon.
I agree. Professor EDC says he just got a Satu. It's just awesome. He's loving it. That was the one I got to film, and I shipped it down to him. And
so
I didn't
even does that have to do with Satu Dave?
Well, that's how Satu Dave got his name, because he loved the Satu knife. So he created his handle around the Satu knife that Satu Dave owned 4 or 5 of at the time.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so very cool.
That.
And what I also did, which I didn't even tell Alex yet, but I might as well tell Alex before the cat's out of the bag. The Casio World Timer, the metal one that you built for me, I gifted down to Professor EDC. So it is now a modded knife that Alex built is now gone international. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. It went to a good home.
Luck Knives. It would be an inadvertent donut knife. Hot blue dragon skin Damascus with pink mammoth molar scales. 1, no. 2, I don't like dragon skin. And 3, I don't like molar, like mammoth molar. Like, no, that's not my thing.
Yeah. I'm not going to get into the donut thing. One thing I did really find kind of awesome in this podcast when we were interviewing Senior was the names he brought up, of the people he's surrounding himself with, right? Like Reese Whelan, right? Stan Wilson, dude, man, those are all legendary. And no matter what Senior says on the podcast, he is a legend in the knife world. There's no doubt about that. And he created 2 other knife legends as well. He's got those kids that just make great stuff. So, yep. That's my opinion on it.
Professor EDC loves that watch. He told me that when he first got it also. And then Bangkok Mark, thanks for joining my YouTube membership. I don't advertise about it, but since you joined and gifted off some, thank you. Cool. Basically, if anybody cares, it costs 99 cents a month and you get 0 perks. It's literally, it was an experiment I did. I set it up. I said, I'm going to just do 99 cents and see if anybody organic. I've never talked about it. This is only the second time I've ever talked about it. And I was just going to see if anybody joined all by themselves. I didn't even tell anybody. And there's 5 people that have joined all by themselves. Okay. It's literally, you get nothing out of it. It's just a way to support me. A lot of people do extra perks and stuff with their memberships, but I'm just open about everything anyway. I couldn't come up with a way to be more open. I already respond to everybody's texts, emails, Instagram messages, Facebook. Like I already talked to everybody. So what am I going to do? Like I didn't know how to give more benefits. So there you go. Okay, so let's back to some comments now. Still need a steel case for my world. Oh, Luck Knives. Still need to get a steel case for his world timer. Just haven't gotten around
Go
to it.
to I got you, man. Go to SKX Mod, and they have a great kit there. It's $200. I have an SKX Mod world timer somewhere in there, and it's really awesome quality. It's like the way the watch looks when it's you buy it, you're like, oh yeah, a metal watch. It looks like metal, but it's not quite metal-ish. I don't know. Whatever you thought it was supposed to be, this SKX mod kit will make it actually a nice, heavy stainless steel kit. Like that's the way to go for that.
Yeah, Bearded
comes the bracelet, and it gives, I think it upgrades it to sapphire crystal too.
I think your SKX mod thing is a sapphire crystal, yes.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, Bearded Doom says I lied. His 99 cents a month is to own a piece of my soul. And yeah, Bangkok Mark, nope, you don't even get a special emoji. You get nothing. You literally get nothing. You're just supporting the content about women. I don't really talk much about the women, but okay. Oh boy, this is a good show. So, what else have you got going on, Al? Are you going to make a video anytime soon? I sent you a box. Did you open the box yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But that's the next. So yeah, I'm gonna post that video. I might film that tonight, actually. I got a review going on of this piece up there. That's a digital microscope that a company sent to me for free. So, and I kind of show how it relates a little bit, like for watch building, or it's kind of cool for knife sharpening to really like verify.
Okay.
Like you got a nice crisp edge, and you can even like, it's kind of curious to see like the micro serrations like on the edge of the steel, which you can't see that with a normal eye. So I'm gonna do a product review of that. I was gonna send Algiro's stuff back. He said no, I want you to do a video. So I still got one more watch of his to film.
That guy owes me a box. I need to reach out to him. That reminds me. Because I did talk to him recently, and he was gonna maybe do something, or I don't remember what we talked about, but yeah, he owes me some stuff too. And if anybody else is interested, now's a really good time to send me stuff to film because I don't really have much. So just if you've got some cool stuff that you're interested in getting my thoughts on, hit me up on the side, email, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, and let's figure it out. And yeah, now's a great time. I can do a real quick turnaround. So yeah, stay tuned. Tomorrow's video is on a flashlight.
Oh, that's cool.
Dude, this thing is ridiculous. Ridiculous. If you guys want to reach out and touch somebody with light, they advertise 705 meter of throw.
Wow.
Yeah, I went to the high school a block over, and yeah, the 100 yards, I can light up the goalpost from either end. Like it's a crazy light, and it's $100. It's amazing. Amazon
that is
links
pretty
in the video.
That is pretty cool.
Let's see here. Luck Knives. Just trying to get a small inventory of knives together for a small show in Ogden in the beginning of March. Figured I'd get my feet wet before Atlanta. Dude, that's awesome.
Very cool.
Very cool. Well, you're already friends with Eric. So make sure you tell Eric and those guys, the Utah Knife Club group that I can't be part of because I have no friends in Napa, so I can't have a knife group. And let them know, and they'll come and support you. They'll be there. They may not buy anything, but they'll be there. Bangkok Mark says, no packages from Florida and Idaho. Yes, I got a package from Florida today, and I got a package from Idaho today. And those videos are coming out in the next couple of days. Also, there was one knife in each. Yeah, I'm struggling with them just a little bit, but you guys will see those videos. I won't give it away yet. Yeah, it's interesting.
Those are the entertaining videos then.
Yeah. Oh, Metal Inquisitor. Nikki from Skypacks got the Red Horse Knife Works giveaway knife, and she's going to pass it on. So a couple episodes ago when we had Ed Kim from Red Horse Knife Works on the EDC Hour, we did a giveaway. Aussie Mike won that particular giveaway for the person in Florida at Skypacks that is our freight forwarder, right? So when I send stuff to Australia, I send it to a company in Florida. They repackage it. They take everything out of the box. They put it in a different box. And then I think they put it on a container ship or something. And then it goes all the way down to Australia. So Mike gets it in like freaking 3 months or something stupid. But anyway, there was a really touching story of a friend of Nikki's, who's our contact over there, whose her friend's father got sick. One of the sons stole all the knives, big sad story. So he won the giveaway of a Red Horse Knife Works production Hellraiser, long story short. And they just got it this week.
That's cool. I'm glad it made it.
Yes, please hit me up, Mike, about whatever. I'd love to actually get some of your stuff. I still have this from you, Mike. Luck Knives. I bought this from him. I haven't kept it for months and months. I bought it.
I don't know. He got my spidey senses tingling with that Poltergeist Blade Works knife.
Oh, the Poltergeist Blade Works. You could throw that in the box, Mike, and I can send it down to Alex later.
Yeah, well, so when he bought that knife, I was looking at it too. I think if he's talking about the Bali song, then that one was on PVK, and I almost bought it too. Like we were both talking about it.
Oh, I don't know which one he's talking about, but he'll probably chime in because he's still here.
I'm assuming that's the one.
Bangkok Mark, Dirk, no watches on the watch list for this year? Interesting question, Mark. Probably no. But at the end of April, I am going to Detroit. Not that that's the watch capital mecca of anything, but my buddy is having a big birthday party there, and it is being held at a really big jewelry watch store that happens to be Rolex, Seiko, Tudor, several other luxury brand authorized dealers. There are a couple of watches that I'm interested in, but I don't know if I'm going to buy a watch in 2024 or not. If I were, it would be a Rolex Yachtmaster, two-tone, chocolate dial, ever rose gold, or the full gold Omega Moonwatch with the rubber strap and gold deployment clasp. My AD down the street in Napa had one that I got to try on, and OMG. I don't think I'm a $30,000 watch guy yet, but I was so close on buying that thing. You can't even believe. That is a beautiful, amazing watch, and I don't even like chronographs.
This one.
Oh, it's
all right. Well, yeah. So even better, actually. I like that better. Just send me a PM, and with the price and what you want, all that, and I'll think about it. That means I would give up buying the Ghostbusters knife. So I don't know. I'll think about it. Yeah, send me some pics and stuff, and we'll talk. At least, Oh, you know what? I think the last little story tidbit we can wrap up with, Dirk. Yeah. Because I said I was thinking about making a video on this, like a talking head, just
Oh yeah.
Man, scammers. Yeah. Boy, have I been having fun with scammers. I think I'm going to share it. We still got 20 people in here, and we all shop for knives and stuff. So
yeah, we can talk about it.
Yeah, me being a kid of the 80s, that's why I'm hunting one of these Ghostbusters Trodons, because the slime glows in the dark. It's cool. I love it. It's literally like it's not something like you're gonna carry every day and use. It's
Right.
just like a fun novelty, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of always wanted a combat Troodon in my collection, but the original one I wanted was the John Wick version, the custom Marfion kind of simple vapor blast one.
Oh yeah.
But when this Ghostbusters one came out, I'm like, my inner child just got excited, you know?
Yeah.
And so when you pick a knife, first the brand is going to decipher what kind of crowd you're dealing with. And when we talk about microtech peeps, and I've been around that crowd for years, and I can tell you there are some very interesting characters in the microtech world, like of collectors. One of my
Yeah.
closest friends like had, the Acuminous Edge.
Oh
Mark.
yes. Yep.
He had a wild collection, dude. I mean, he had over like 55 SOCOMs,
Right.
customs, and he had like some of them with gold scroll works and a bunch of them modified. So he spent a bunch of money on that stuff. So those guys are like, when they're kind of like, when you're shopping for like a handmade custom, there's a bit of wheeling and dealing you can kind of do, and usually come up with some sort of agreement, because there's a lot of like gray space when it comes to a custom and the value.
Yes.
Microtechs, especially like fun like edition knives, period, like that, like where people go wild and they sell out and all this stuff, right? Which is exactly what happened with this one.
Right.
That's where the scammers just
Yep.
they all flood into it. And I have never had so many scammers contact me as I have with this knife. And some of them, are people too that may not be scammers, but are people that have no vouchers. They've got some holes in their stories. It's just, I'm not vibing with it. And I've actually like been sending, Dirk a bunch of these conversations to kind of show him like what's going on, because I think it's kind of comical, but guys, be careful out there, man. Like there are more scammers I noticed lately than I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah.
by a long shot.
So really, I mean, you gotta do a little bit of homework. Just because somebody says, "Yep, I've got this knife. Here's a picture. Here's a video. It's $500." You may not get that knife. There's enough people out there that take your money, PayPal, friends and family, or Zelle, or one of these things where you really don't have much recourse. If you used your credit card to do it, you can usually fight with your credit card and say it's a disputed, charge and things like that. But you've also paid money to use your credit card through PayPal. They charge you a percentage, whatever, right? But
plus the knife is it's not an item that PayPal will support your money like going back to you. Like I could probably, because like if you're gonna buy it like goods and services, that would be something I would probably put in the description as a movie prop or like something else, right? But even with that, the fact that it's a knife is really, you have zero recourse or guarantee for anything. If it was like a stereo or a CD player, dude, you're good. But with a knife, even not friends and family, and you do that other, pay the fee, like you're screwed.
Yeah. So really ask for references if you can, is what I recommend. And I was selling, I did sell the Sharknivko Ryu, and it was a big ticket item, right? It was, I don't know, it was over $6,000. And the guy said, "Hey, do you have any references or whatever?" And I'm like, "Well, sure." I was a little surprised he didn't know who I was, but that's okay. I'm really a nobody. I go, "Yeah, you can talk to Edison, the maker, the owner of Sharknivko, or his wife. I know them both personally. Or post up in this group, or this group, and people will chime in." Literally 5 minutes later, he said, "Hey, what's your PayPal? What's your Zelle?" 4 people already responded saying you were good. So I'm good. So it's really quick and easy to just ask in a group, hey, I'm trying to do a deal with John Smith. Does anybody know him? And tag that person, because there's a lot of John Smiths. There's really only one Dirk Warning. Well, actually, there's 2 because my oldest son, but that's a different story. But yeah, tag them and people will respond in good or bad. Maybe they respond bad, maybe they respond good, but you got to ask the questions to feel good about sending your money to somebody. And even then, there's no real guarantees.
Yep. So for me, like I had people say, hey, so just for you guys, some of the red flags I saw, the guys who automatically post pictures like, oh, here, check out my vouchers, and they post pictures of people vouching for them on threads. That's red flag number 1. That's not how you get vouchers. You put a post live and then you see right then and there who responds, how fast, and look at their profiles too. See if they look legit. Like I had one that like had only 127 people following him. He joined Facebook in like 2021. Like I look at all these things. I had another guy that sent me a video and pictures of a knife, and the 2 knives were most definitely not the same knives. I showed.
Yeah, the picture was a different knife than the video.
Yeah. So all the pictures were the same knife, and then the video was a different knife. They were both Ghostbusters knife, but you could tell by the splatter pattern of the slime that it clearly was a different knife. And then after that, him and I are having a conversation. He did a actual picture, like a timestamp picture with my name on it and everything. So I knew he had the knife.
Right.
So then sometimes you might say, okay, he did a timestamp picture, so I feel safe. But then what really guarantees? So now that guarantees me he has the knife. That's like a step in the right direction. But then like what guarantees that he sends it out? And then you get this story like, oh, I'm from this city, but then his, thing said that he's from somewhere else. And you start finding holes in their stories. So at that point, don't waste your money. There'll be another one that comes around. You just keep shopping.
There's no guarantee way to buy on the secondary market unless it's buying from somebody that you actually know. If I buy something from Alex, I know. If I buy something from Luck Knives or Beard of Doom, I know these people, I'll buy from them. If you don't know them, if they're not in groups with you, if other people that like, if I ask for a vouch on somebody and Alex says, oh yeah, that guy is good, I trust Alex, so I know that that guy is good. If 5 other people that I have no clue who they are and I've never heard of them before say he's good, it's a toss-up still. Same with trade deals. Trade deals are a little bit even worse. I've actually been in the middle of trade deals because what will happen is person A and B will send the knives to me. So now I've got both knives. And then I switch them and I send them out to them. So they're covered as long as they trust me. Right? Like they're sending it to some YouTube guy. Like, and just because I'm some YouTube guy doesn't mean there have been YouTube guys that have become not trustworthy and they are no longer around. And we won't go into names, but there have been some YouTube people that have become scammer guys. So you gotta, it's a weird world. It's a weird world.
Yeah, and especially the last few years.
Then don't do it.
Yeah.
It's the bottom line.
Yep. So I've just been like especially like if you have time into the Facebook groups, like some of the big ones like me or Dirk have, then you can kind of wait around until you find somebody that has one, right? Like there's no need to rush into whatever it may be.
Yes, those things are kind of dicey situations there, Bad Monkey. You are absolutely correct.
You're slicing on some very thin lines there.
And Beard of Doom, if you are in California, hopefully in Northern California, yes, we should get together.
Very cool.
So yeah, be careful out there. Everybody, I think, has gotten almost scammed. Some people have gotten scammed. Talk about the shipping. Shipping for me is a big thing. Talk about the method of shipping. Are you guys going to do USPS priority? Are you doing FedEx overnight, UPS second day? Like, make sure you agree on how it's being shipped. Do you want signature required or not? Like that, there's no real wrong answers on any of these things, but talk about it with the person who you're buying or selling so that everybody's on the same page. And then send them tracking information. And when I sell something, I track the hell out of it. And I send the guy screenshots almost every time that it moves from one city to the next. And then when they get it, hey, it's been delivered. Do you have it yet? Do you have it yet?
Yeah. Yeah, he
Let me know
does
what
do
you
that.
think once you open it. Like, well, I'm at work. My wife's got it. I'll get it tonight when I get home. Okay. Hey,
I've known Dirk for years, and he even does that with me. Like that box he just sent. Like I
Yeah.
got like, hey, it's on its way. Hey, you should get it tomorrow. Hey, it's out for delivery.
it's
Hey,
just
at
my
your house.
normal course of shipping something, especially when it's a high ticket thing. If it's a $50 knife, $50 Timex watch, Casio World Timer, something like that, I may not. But like the Sharknavika Ryu that I shipped overnight, UPS, signature required. Yeah, I track it the whole way and I share because I want to make sure that people know where it is. And I want them to feel comfortable with me for next time.
Right.
Or be able to tell people that, dude, this guy Dirk, when he shipped his thing, not only did I get the tracking number literally 10 minutes after I sent him the money, because again, I work from home. You buy something right now, I'll box it up, I'll print out a label, and in 5 minutes, it's ready to go usually. So, and then I run it to the post office or I hand it to my mail carrier or whatever the situation is. But yeah, I'm going to bug you 10 times with tracking until you get it in your hand, you've opened the box and you like it. The money, I don't spend the money. That's the reason. That's part of it too. I don't spend the money until you have it in your hand and you're like, yep, I love this flashlight. Everything's perfect. Okay, now I can spend the money. That's me.
Yeah.
Beard of Doom says always add full coverage insurance.
Disagree with that because again, the knife's not if they find out it's a knife, they're not gonna honor that.
I, for probably 2.5 years, have self-insured. I do not do any extra insurance once in a while. Like,
well, so
if it's my request, sure.
So
I don't do insurance because one, you can't get your money back anyway because it's a knife. Two, oftentimes, depending on the carrier, they put that on the label, $5,000 value. Well, now it's just blatantly obvious that there's some valuable stuff in that box.
So what's better to spend your money on, and Dirk and I have had this talk, is speed. You don't
overnight, early AM.
Speed. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's what you do with expensive stuff is you overnight it and it gets treated differently when you're paying that much for shipping.
Yep.
There's probably I mean nothing's guaranteed, but I would bet my money that it's going to get there.
Yeah, and when I do overnight, it's overnight early AM delivery by 10:30. Always. Because overnight they have normal overnight, which gets there by like 10 o'clock the next night. Or you do early, and then you can do early, like 8:30 in the morning. I rarely ever do that. I do the 10:30 a.m. and boom, there you go. And I do not do insurance. Unless somebody specifically asks, like I'm not against it necessarily.
I mean, if they want it, I'll do it for them.
But speed is the key. Overnight, early AM, done deal.
Yep.
And box you tape. When in doubt,
Yep.
use more tape. If you don't think if you're questioning if you used enough, you didn't use enough. I talk about that in my video tomorrow. You guys,
it's cheap. That's cheap insurance.
Tape is cheap. Use a lot. Anybody that's gotten a box from me knows you need a knife to open the box to get the knife out of it. And if
you're not
if you don't
opening
need a
that box
knife
with
to
your
open
fingers.
it, then you're done.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
I think we've rambled enough on that.
I think we're good. Yeah.
I think we're good. Thank you guys. We appreciate it. Appreciate the Saturday. Like, that's cool. I mean, we didn't want to intrude on the Super Bowl. Not that I'm going to be watching because foosball is the devil. Who cares? But other people do care, especially since I live in Napa in the San Francisco Bay Area. 40 wetters? I don't know. Whatever. But everybody, thank you very much. Alex, thank you for working it out to play on a Saturday night with your wife. That's always appreciated.
Yeah,
So
they've
tell
been
her I
nice
said
and
thank you.
quiet. Yeah, I will. They've been nice and quiet. 'Cause sometimes you can hear them when my daughter starts to go wild after the first
So
hour.
that's a little bit concerning that they're so quiet now. So you better go check on them.
Yeah, it's the.
All right, guys. Thanks, everybody.
Part.
We'll be back in a couple of weeks. Yeah, there you go. Thanks.